So I will record the session manually, and hopefully that works as well. The world as of late has been a quiet and solemn place, with many trying to discover their own purpose in life and where they belong, while others are simply looking for something to believe in, and some are beginning a brand new story that will change their lives forever. My players, I will call on each of you to give a brief description of your character as we are about to begin Episode 1. You don't have to get into character for the description, but that will be starting up just after descriptions. So we're going to go character alphabetically. So first up, we will have Kyle talking about Alena.
All right. So my character is Alena Everwinter. She's a high elf paladin. Will be a paladin.
Right.
She's 27 and comes from Catfeld's Stronghold.
Very cool.
How is that spelled?
Catheld, Cafeld.
Stronghold. Yeah.
Stronghold.
Okay.
And then Vinny, if you're Vinny, you're on deck.
Okay.
So I was just gonna add, just spends most of her time competing in the arena.
Very cool. Vinny.
That is there.
Hello, everybody. My name's Angene Artenskuld. I am a half-orc from the town of Nekeb. I am 6'8", about 250, broader build. I have whiter hair and yellow eyes. I have a lisp, as you can tell, but I don't let it get in my way. I like to be able to talk to people, and I enjoy a good conversation. Yeah. Oh, I'm 18 years old.
Adam with Erevan.
Yeah, I play Erevan Amakiir. He's from the City of Miracles, which is Donengother. He is a wood elf that has like a pale bluish colored skin, emerald colored eyes, like a silverish white hair. That's about what I have for him.
His hat and his sick cloak.
Yeah, that too. I do have a cool hat.
Are you holding something? Oh, and you're just adjusting your mic. Sorry. Very cool. Okay. Jake with Harratuk.
I am Harratuk Ironskin. I'm a minotaur. I look kind of rough, but I'm still growing. And so I will be taller by the end of the campaign. And I come from the mountains of Scarcliffe.
Sick. And last but certainly not least, Matt playing Karl.
Well, hi, I'm Karl Bloodbeard. I'm a dwarf, a mountain dwarf, but kind of an island dwarf. I'm about, 4 feet, a little over 4 feet, pretty stocky, a little bit of belly going on, but a muscular build, dwarf. That's how that runs. I like to drink and work, and that's about all I do on a daily basis. Not very, not too thrilling, the island life sometimes.
Excellent. Okay. So, each of you have received a statement saying what your character was doing shortly before this moment in the world. The final conversations that they may have had with the people that they last saw, in the place that they last remember being. The last thing that had happened to each of your characters was them falling into a state of trance and hearing a deep and ethereal voice call out to them. And I am not using the voice modulator this time, it'll just be vanilla. My chosen. The world has fallen into a state of disharmony and ataxia. You and your ancestors have been but passengers on the vessel that travels through this time. I am calling upon you to enact the paradigm, to become the warriors for change in this existence. To answer the calling, you must be prepared to metamorphose and reconcile yourself to become worthy of this journey. You will not find this adventure to be without peril, nor will you find peaceful sleep every night hereafter. Nor may you desire to complete this enterprise after the years it may take to finish. However, in your success, you will live on in this world for thousands of lifetimes beyond that of your own. And I assure you that on this path you have been set, you will flourish and become more than you ever could have in your homes. To become the adventurers I foresee, you will need time to grow, to develop your skills and become formidable against whatever you may face along the way. There are adventurers like you in this world, and your paths will cross from time to time, some at the beginning and some at the end. They share the same purpose as you, and represent but a fraction of the beauty this world has to offer. Those who are willing to join you will become your greatest ally in this adventure. Hear them just as clearly as you hear me now, and know this. The time to revive the world has begun. Now, arise from your sleep. I will always be watching, and I will seek unto your ears again when I will to do so. Now, wake. So, each of your characters slowly begins to come to consciousness in your own time. The uncomfortable metal benches beneath you, the tight manacles gripping your wrists, the stale air, the shaking of chains on each and every bump you feel as you realize you're inside some kind of metal carriage. Light filters through the rough sacks that cover over each of your heads, except for Harratuk. As Harratuk kind of zones in a little bit, he can see these strangers who were just described. They each have bags over their heads, and everybody has their hands manacled together. And for him, it kind of looks like they were trying to put it on, and it like tore over your horns. And then they were like, "Yeah, that's fine," and they just kind of left it. So you can see that Harratuk can see that everybody is pretty tightly packed in this metal carriage of some kind that shakes and moves quite uncomfortably as it moves down a road. The sound of hooven creatures clopping along. There are 6 humanoids within this carriage, including yourself. There are the 5, plus you, who were described earlier, plus one additional creature who has sort of crossed, rough-looking blue fabric, as well as large spherical beads around their neck and waist. And you can see sort of dirtied yellow fur on the paws and their feet as well, and their face is also obscured. Each of you will hear some chatting outside the carriage as it comes to an abrupt halt. Cart number. Come again? Hold on. I don't have you on the roster. And you can hear a second voice. Well, that's not my problem, mate. I gotta drop him off and then head back for another pickup. The cart continues to move alongside, and the atmosphere changes drastically. You can hear the first guy kind of saying, "Yeah, whatever. Roll him inside and tell the curator how many you got. He'll make something up." So you guys can feel this cart moving through. And almost immediately you can feel where it was like a rough path sort of jutting the carriage left and right. It shifts to a smooth and very even tempo, I guess. The shaking and the rumbling is completely gone, and you can hear that like the dirtied wheels are bringing in some kind of grain onto a very smooth surface. The cart stops again, and several loud metal clanks and shifts can be heard around and on the cage when the entire thing suddenly jolts upward violently and then is moved and slammed back down. The familiar voices that you guys knew sort of fading away as the clamor about the Oh, sorry, I messed up my notes here. You guys can hear the fading away of the clamoring of the people who were around the cart at that time. You can feel whatever you're in is moving towards something. You can hear gears turning and chain links pulling and jutting as the noise of a crowd starts to fill the air and can be heard more distinctly. Cheering, yelling, the oohs and ahs of a sizable crowd as doors are open, and you guys can now hear them as loud as ever. The loud cheers seeming to be like right on top of the cage. An announcer is heard shouting numbers and names, referencing the mystery package. Moments of further cheers and jeers are erupting as there is a pounding noise when you guys can hear that same announcer voice saying "Sold, sold, sold." After further moving, it feels like now it's backwards down the same hallway. Eventually you guys come to another abrupt stop. A heavy metal shunk is heard, and Harratuk, you can see somebody like peering in through like a not a peephole, but a rectangular like viewing port where they're like looking around at everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Before they back out, and then each of you can start to hear sort of these whispers that sound as though they're strange incantations. And Harratuk, you can see on everyone's left wrist this blue smoke fades in through the peering block, let's call it, and each person on their left wrist, the mist coalesces around them. And if anybody has long sleeves, it goes around it, and if anybody does not have long sleeves, it'll be directly on their skin. And as you're watching, even if their clothing or their manacles are obstructing the strange symbols that are tattooing themselves on everyone's arm, the tattoos do not seem to be disturbed. It almost looks as though if you were like to project something on someone's arm and then you moved something, the projection would remain. It's like that.